Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of CaseyBuilds Live. Today, we are going to be working on the Jeep Wrangler. And I can't remember what the last Technic set we did on here was. Which means it's been a while. I didn't do that on here. I think it might have been the Fast and Furious Charger. Oh, which is just out of frame. Anyway, it's been a while, so it seemed like it was time to do another Technic set. This is a smaller one. This one's 665 pieces, so it'll be a quick build today, which will be a great way to offset the Coliseum time lapse that I hope everybody got to see yesterday. That was a monster of a set to build. So had a lot of fun putting that one together, and it was I would actually say it was surprising how fast it went for us. And I think that was probably because Lex and I were basically we were building in parallel, and so I think one person it would have taken twice as long, and it took us a little over 9 hours combined to do it. So anyway, let's go ahead and start the build today. Like I said, this is a Jeep Wrangler, which is, they do a lot of these fun licensed sets now. There's another one that's just a little bit bigger than this one. It's a McLaren Senna, which is a little bit more of the type of car I'm interested in, but the Jeep seemed like it'd be a fun one, and it's a little smaller than the Senna, the McLaren. So, Mike 16. How many days was the Coliseum? It took us 4 days. So, I figured I was initially trying to decide whether or not we should try to avoid having different clothes on across the 4 days, or at least, have clothes that looked the same. But Lex pointed out that it wouldn't be a surprise that that time passed as we were building it, so went ahead and just wore whatever we had on. So yeah, four nights of building. Couple hours of building each night. Yeah, and we also took that opportunity to watch some movies that were thematically appropriate that I hadn't seen before. So we watched Spartacus and Ben-Hur, and that took up pretty good chunk of the time. So did that. And yeah, they were good movies, I suppose. This set today, it's got a mixture. It's got stickers and printed pieces. And some of the stickers look exactly like the printed pieces. So I'm not sure why they chose to print some and put stickers on the others, but that's what we're dealing with today. So, counting wardrobe changes. Yeah.
Mine stayed pretty much the same.
Yeah, Lex was fairly consistent. I think I was the one that was changing the most.
So even though my sweatshirt changed, it was the same color.
Apparently her sweatshirt changed, but was the same color. So that'd be a tougher one to track. So like I said, today this one is 650-ish pieces. So it'll definitely be one of the quicker builds. Which is good because for some reason today, and I have no reason for this, but I am super sleepy right now, and I probably should have had a Coke before starting the build today, but I didn't.
Let me go get you one.
No, that's okay. I even slept in until almost 8:30 the last couple of mornings, which that's sleeping in. So if anything, I got more sleep, and I have no right to be sleepy. But here we are. So, in this tiny little Technic set, I'm excited to see. I think the thing that I'm most interested in seeing here is the way they approach the suspension, because supposedly in this one, all of the wheels are going to have a lot of play, and I'm curious to see how that's going to look. Like the actual Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. It's going to be an off-roading machine. Not that this set doesn't have a built-in... it doesn't have a motor. So it's not actually meant to be driven around like some of the other RC cars. But we'll just have to wait and see what moves and what doesn't, and it should be a quick, fun, easy little build. Yeah. Lex has also been experimenting with different types of warm drinks for me, because recently, I think I might have even mentioned that on here. Recently, I was sort of kind of thinking about hot drinks.
It was cold outside.
Yeah, it was cold outside, and I was thinking, I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't really like tea. And so kind of the only warm drink there is for me is hot cocoa, which is delicious, but seems kind of silly if that's the only type of hot drink. Or, of course, a nice hot toddy. But that obviously is not a any time of day kind of drink. So, thinking about warm drinks, and coffee and tea are pretty much your choices for most normal warm drinks. I don't really care for either one of them. So, Lex has been on a quest to find me. She's been exploring a lot of different types of teas, and unfortunately, they all sort of just taste like tea to me. She has found some that I don't dislike as much as others, and I've gotten to the point where I feel like even though I may not love things, I don't hate them, and I think acceptance is probably going to be the name of the game here. I don't know if there's ever going to be... We're going to come across something that I absolutely love drinking, but if I just need something warm, maybe there will be a solution in there. So today she had one that was basically tea hot cocoa, which made me feel like I'd rather just go back to having the hot cocoa. Ultimately, it's more of a coffee replacement. That's its intended use case, apparently. But I'm not drinking coffee in the first place. I would just have hot cocoa. Point being, I'm still inexplicably sleepy. Probably should have had a Coke.
Do you want me to go get you one?
No, thanks. So, just got a complicated pile of gears. also, this set only has 2 bags in it, so the tray, as you can see here, is rather dense. It's going to be, on average, a little over 300 pieces per tray, which is more than most usually have. Okay, where's this fella go? Pile of pieces that this is, I'm having a hard time at the moment. It keeps turning around in different directions, so it keeps kind of changing. Such a weird shape. Actually, that piece is going to be really helpful to keep things aligned correctly going forward. That's what I was going to say. It's just kind of a blob, so I was having to pay extra attention to make sure everything was lined up correctly, that I had the thing oriented correctly, so I was putting the pieces in the right spots. And that shouldn't be as much of a problem now, because now we have this big beam hanging off here that'll really help us. Hot apple cider. It's another good suggestion.
You shot that down when I suggested it.
Yeah. I don't love it. I'd rather have apple juice or sparkling cider. Kind of like the tea stuff. It's some of them I haven't hated, but I'd also just as soon have not tea. Did I put that on correctly? Gray side out. Oh, I didn't.
Laces out, Dan.
It's supposed to be gray side out, not black side out. It's going to require taking a couple of these things off. Well, that's just annoying. Okay, well. You know what? This set is so small. You guys you're not gonna believe it. I'm just gonna leave it. It shouldn't functionally have any difference. Oh, it might because of those. Okay, man. There we go. Turning an easy set into a hard one by putting the pieces in the wrong spots.
Should have had the Coke.
Tell you what, I'd love a Coke.
Well, no, now I have to sort it.
Thank you. Well, if I could get this piece off, it's really on there, which I suppose is the whole point, but holy cow. Okay. Off. Okay, gray part out. Thank you. Incidentally, if anybody over at Coca-Cola sees this and feels the need to sponsor someone that builds Legos, I'd be happy to say that Coca-Cola is the official drink of CaseyBuilds.
I thought that was Siesta Key Rum.
Oh, Siesta Key Rum is. This is the official non-alcoholic drink of CaseyBuilds. How about that? Soft drink. Hard official soft drink of CaseyBuilds. Alright.
I almost brought you a rum and coke.
Oh, rum and coke would be delicious. But I feel like that would also be counterproductive to what we're trying to accomplish with the coke. Yeah. I'll add rum later. Okay. Let's fix what I did. There we go. Hopefully, I didn't mess anything up in the process of fixing that. Here's hoping. Now, where were we? If Bo James is out there watching right now, this is probably a finish your drink kind of a moment. Okay. I feel like finish the bottle. Siesta Key and Mexican Coke. That's the... Yeah. Again, if I were to combine them right now, that would defeat the purpose of having the Coke, but... Later. Alright. Looks like we have... I'm guessing what's going to be a steering column here. Maybe. Hard to say. Okay, this goes up through here, and these grab onto here. Did you just hear cheering? Okay, I'm losing my mind. I heard what sounded like cheering coming from like a stadium or something.
You're such a weirdo.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if that's a steering column. Because normally the steering column would be perpendicular to the wheels here, unless these aren't wheels. How exciting! I'm sure the mystery will unravel itself shortly. Small number of pieces this set has, it will definitely be quickly solved. Okay. And that. Now, some of these. So, by the way, I've been storing up some slightly bigger sets. I'm not talking like the Coliseum, but like 2,000-ish pieces that I'd like to do as live streams. And so I have a feeling pretty soon here, gonna change back to doing a stream on Saturday and Sunday, doing the same old format as before, so that I can do a couple of these larger sets. One of the really cool ones that just recently came out is a kind of a retro throwback set. It's a medieval blacksmith And it's to kind of be in the older style Lego set, like the old castle sets. Where do you go? Why am I? Oh, that goes through there. Yeah, and I'd like to do that one of these days. So maybe next weekend might be a two-parter stream once again. Bo James. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, delicious, refreshing Coca-Cola. Oh, is that in frame? There, let's turn it so that... There we go. That's a good spot. Product placement. Product synergy. I feel like that's the kind of thing that would really make Jack Donaghy proud. Lex and I have been watching a lot of 30 Rock recently. Bo James, I don't know if you were watching right at the beginning, but I basically had to pull the whole thing apart. So if you're playing your standard drinking game and missed that, I feel like you could definitely use knowledge of that as a catch-up justification. Yeah. For me, it's all about those Mexican Cokes. Mm-mm. Okay. This one's... Alright. Some of these pieces are... So when you're using the connectors, trying to get the connectors through these sorts of pieces, trying to get the connectors through, even when they line up, sometimes you really kind of have to, kind of work it down. And when something's like this and it's just taking shape and it's not exactly all firmed up yet, it's actually kind of tough to get it to go where it needs to go. Even if everything lines up, it's kind of tough. So that's one of the downsides of building one of these smaller Technic sets. Yes. So here we go. All right, time to do some stickers. Stickers for the seats here. Let's make sure we have them oriented correctly. All right, it says Rubicon at the top. So it needs to be like this. I don't know how you can fix that connector issue. Skip Technic sets. Nah. How would the world... What would the world be without Technic sets? Oh, this is a tough one. Okay. So, the sticker needs to go on the inside of this. So, concave things are tough enough to get stickers into in the first place. And everything being black the way it is, it's hard to get this lined up correctly. This is not any fun at all. Okay. There's one. And then this one goes on the bottom. Okay, there's one seat. It's very rugged. Okay. Man, this is tough. There we go. Sorry for the delay here. These stickers always take the longest. Make sure I have them in the same spot on both of these. Okay. Okay, that's done. Good. Okay. Line up the connectors, try to get on there. Alright. Our Jeep has seats. And it's still just a little flimsy. So, definitely need some more pieces to get this all together here. Okay. Bo James, did you order that new white 911 that's coming out? Can't remember if you decided one way or the other about that one. I know you were on the fence. Oh, these are fun. Okay. The steering here is very much an old-fashioned style Technic set steering situation. Let me show you. Oh God, absolutely no craggle. It won't be flimsy for long. Just got to build a little bit more. So this is an old-fashioned technique for doing steering on Technic sets, where you have this piece here which turns, and then you have this piece going through the axle that goes through. That's they've been using that for quite a while. Didn't order. I'm going to look into that NetBrick site. Oh yeah, that was one of the things. So there is it's the kind of Netflix equivalent for Lego, where you can sign up at this place called NetBricks, and they will actually send you out Lego sets, and when you send it back in, they'll send you the next one on your list. So it's kind of like the old original DVD Netflix that existed. So Bo James is going to give that a shot. We were talking about that earlier this week. Subscription-based Lego library rentals. Certainly a great idea for somebody who just wants to put a set together and then isn't necessarily interested in building a home library of these and just wants to get to enjoy putting one together and then being done with it. And now starting to see what the purpose of the things that I thought were wheels but aren't actually wheels. We're creating the travel for the suspension, so the wheels will actually be able to have a lot of ability to twist around. I can't think of what the word is right now. Let's have some more Coke. Okay. And given the way that this is turning, I actually do think there was a distinct possibility that it would have mattered which way if it was oriented so that the black or the gray was out. So I think taking it apart early on and putting it back together, going the direction it specified, it's entirely possible that might have ended up being important. So I'm glad we did that. Also, I do think this is going to end up being the steering column, but it's not going to go to a steering wheel like they frequently do. Maybe they'll put a steering wheel on there. I don't know. But it looks like the steering will be done by this knob on the back of the car, which again is kind of an older style technique where they bring a knob to steer out onto the top or the side of the vehicle. Since it's if you're going to be playing with this thing, steering it around, whatever, you're not going to reach inside to adjust the steering wheel. You're going to go like this and move it. So that's good. Where are you? Oh, now this is actually going to be attached to the steering. Let's see how this all comes together. So now the wheels will be turning in unison, and this part of the steering, this going back and forth, that's going to be moving something on top here, but let's see how that comes together. So they're using similar techniques, but they're having to modify them somewhat, because obviously when the entire axle, or when the whole wheel, I don't know what these words are. When the whole thing can travel like that, you're going to have to decouple some of the things that are frequently coupled. I'm sorry, it's laughable how poorly my brain is working right now, and I apologize. Oh, that's clever. Let me get this together here and I can hold it up to show you. So when this turns back here now, you can see it actually, let me hold that still. It actually turns our wheels back and forth because it's pushing something back and forth up here, which is not geared, but it's pulling that back and forth. I don't think I can describe it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna give up on the descriptions today. I can feel the stupid coming out of my mouth. So one of the things that was a lot of fun with the Coliseum set was, because of the way it was structured, the whole thing was basically, we built the plate, the base, and then there were four kind of, on the cardinal directions, kind of posts that everything was going to attach to, and then it was just a whole bunch. I want to say there were 40 slices around the outside of the thing where we built these pie slices, and then each bag was effectively a pie slice, and then we just attached them together and then put them in. So it made it very convenient for us both to be building at the same time, because we would just take sequential bags and she would be building a pie slice, and I'd be building a pie slice, and then we just put them together. And so the whole set was actually unintentionally divvied up in such a way that worked perfectly for two people building at the same time, which had not been, we definitely didn't know it going into it, and we hadn't really had a plan to do that ahead of time, but on opening it and starting to sort it and build it, we kind of noticed that, and so it worked so perfectly. It's kind of nice how that worked out. Okay, this now is turned around. And see, they didn't even use a turn it around icon. Usually they have those. They just kind of gave up. They knew I'd be having trouble today, so they're not even trying to help. That's fine. Okay. Get in there. There we go. What are you doing now? Okay, we've got these weird little yellow things up top. I'm not entirely sure what that is yet, but you can see that the front and rear wheels are completely independent. The whole thing can rock. Heck, I think it could probably, yep, you can go around full 360, which I doubt the real car could do. And I also don't know if this is necessarily how the suspension is set up on these. I don't know. I don't know if each wheel is independent or if they're kind of in a fixed plane the way they are. Anyway, it seems just fine here like this. Let's do some interesting things that we don't normally do on sets. Okay, get in there. All four of those and all four of those. Oh man, backwards. Oh, ouch. Okay. That's how that's supposed to be. Yep. Okay. This one has to be the same. Let's try to not mess this one up. Okay, and now we have some springs. Spring. That's gonna go to there. This one will go down to there. I have a feeling. Oh, now it says turn it upside down. And these will go through to lock the springs into place. Independently articulating suspension. So is that a real thing, or are you putting together words that just sound right? Because they definitely sound right. But is that an official term, or is that just a good description? Let's see. It's still supposed to be upside down. Those need to connect and go through there. All right. All right. Oh, that's really cool. Okay. So, frequently in these sorts of sets, they'll have the suspension for individual wheels to be able to travel. This thing goes on this entire area here, and you can see the way those springs actually move now. Okay, that's what cheap guys call it. Yeah, that's really neat the way that goes. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Okay, independently articulating suspension. That's what the Jeep guys call it. Cool. Now we know. So, are these wheels, is this normal where this whole thing is attached and the wheels will always be exactly opposite of each other? Or do individual wheels on the real one, could this one move independent of this one? Because right now these are fixed in a line with one another. Do we know if that's how the Jeep actually works, or is that a Lego thing? That's the next question. Either way, whether this is the way it actually works or if this is an adaptation that Lego created to simplify things, either way, it's a really mechanically cool way to do this. Oops, there. Prominently. Okay. I have no idea what this is going to be. Unknown to me. Yeah, alright. I'll have to do some Googling after this because I'm curious about the suspension now. Alright. Oh, this is this part of the car. Effectively the firewall. Or what would be in that area. Okay. And this wheel, steering wheel, is definitely fixed. No turning, so that won't be attached. It'll be independent of this. Okay. Now we're building our winch. Long Lego string. Okay, and I like to put the string through. There's a way you can do this without tying it, where it's possible to, well, like I said, not tie the string and lock it into place. That's what I typically try to do. I think that'll do it right there if I can get this axle through. There we go. Locked into place without a knot. Score. Okay. It's usually easier to roll up as soon as it's connected to other stuff, so I'm not going to bother trying to do that yet, because it'll probably be much easier in a few steps, even though they're trying to get us to do that right now. But this is wisdom. What's the use of having built all these Lego sets if you don't learn from doing them to make doing future ones easier? Okay. Unfortunately, we're going to need to tie the string on this end. I haven't figured out a way to get that to stay in place yet. So okay. I always try to get the knot as small as possible, because I feel like if you waste your string and have a whole lot of extra string on one side, you're wasting what should be playable string, if that makes sense. My fingers are too big to do this easily. Come on. Get in there. There we go. All right. And which way are you supposed to be oriented? Okay, like that. Oops. Alright, this thing needs a crank still. Looks like we're building a bumper into the front winch here, or rather we're building the winch into the front bumper. Okay, where does this go? This goes in front of here. Like that. Oh, that. Clearances there are, well, absolutely perfect. Okay, other side. Need another one of those. More of that. Oops. This guy over here. Okay, and now lock it in on this side. Okay. Still need a crank. I think I've mentioned this before, but one of the tricks when you're working on a Technic set like this, when you're trying to get things, when there's a few connectors all on one piece, and you're trying to get them all to connect at the same time, it actually is helpful to aggressively wiggle the piece, because it helps everything sort of lock into place. It seems like it's kind of silly, but it actually is a legitimate technique to get that to work. So just shake it a little bit, and sometimes it goes together a little bit easier. Oops. Honestly, I thought we were going to be further along at this point, but as we know, Technic sets usually, even with the same number of pieces, for some reason take longer than normal sets. But we are almost halfway done. Yes, that's exactly what I would call it. A Technic technique. Absolutely. Oh, that's the wrong. Oh no, is that? Oh no. Whew. Thought I'd maybe used the wrong piece elsewhere, but I was just holding it backwards. Okay, this needs to go up here. Engine cover, most likely. That's just a little uneven. That feels feels pretty good. Oh, no way. That's terrible. There's something. It's like the sticker isn't straight or the piece isn't straight or something's not straight here. No matter what I do, I can't get the things to line up on both sides. Well, there we go. Okay. And the very iconic Jeep grill here, it would seem. Oh, only one. Okay. Macaroni piece. Second macaroni piece. That is a very, very Jeep grill right there. Did a great job of doing that just right. Yep. All right. Did I not do that right? No. Put it on backwards. There. Okay. This needs to go here somehow. There. Flip it around and now the other side. idea what this is. But it goes there, whatever it is. Okay, we are almost done with this tray, and it's basically been an hour, so I think it's very reasonable to think that the other one will take about an hour too, most likely, meaning we'll finish up around 4. That goes like that. And that should have had an arrow telling me to push that. Oh, it does. Okay. Just put it up there in the inset area. Which I had not anticipated. Okay. Oh, well, that's that. That's the end of the... Never had a... We'll roll this up and then I'll go get bag 2. There we go. Alright, we have the front of the Jeep and kind of the general shape of it here. Okay, let's dump these pieces and get the next ones. Okay, second tray. Many thanks. All right. There are a lot of pieces on this tray, but most of them are connectors, so I have a feeling I think this will go quicker. I'd like to think. We'll find out, though. All right. All right, so it looks like we just set that to the side for a minute here, and now we're going to be building, I don't know, building something. Perhaps it's the roof of the cab or something. We will find out. Man, reaching in here, it's like a bunch of landmines. Trying not to disturb everything else. And I'm seeing some interesting pieces in here that I have seen before, but very infrequently. So that's kind of fun. How do you connect like that? These connect into there. Yeah, all right. And in the back. Oh, this is fine. This isn't a problem I usually have, but I hear a ringing in my left ear right now. Okay, it wasn't the top of the cab, it was the rear deck or something. I don't know. My terminology, the glossary I have in my head for auto related things is not as complete when it comes to non-cars. All right, yep, looks like we're going to have an opportunity to put on some more stickers here pretty soon. But these should be easier than the ones that we were having to do earlier, because they're just on nice normal flat spots and not inward curving things. Okay. All right. One more thing about the Coliseum. It is wildly impressive to look at. It's such an enormous set that its presence, it has a commanding presence. But like a lot of the bigger sets, it does such a good job of being accurate and looking good. It's almost a little boring to build because of how repetitive it is. All of the wedges are all so similar. Basically, bags 6 through 38 of the 40 bags are almost the same, and they were different enough that each one had its own instructions and things were built differently. But they were all very, very similar. So some of these larger sets I've found are much more interesting as display units than they are as fun, interesting builds. Kind of the same way with the Super Star Destroyer set. It looks awesome when it's complete, but it's also just kind of like a, okay, well, meh, as you're building it. Oh, the P on the Jeep logo is cut off. That seems almost like the sort of thing that a brand person would be upset about. Alright. I don't know if you could see it on there, but the P is off the sticker. Oh, that's a door. Hey. All right. There we go. Door. I think we're about to do the same thing on this other side now. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2. No, whatever this is different. I haven't built one of these yet. Okay. This guy. And this guy. Oh, and something worth noting. These are different color, so it's easier to tell the difference here. But it is not uncommon to have two very similar shapes. A hole on top of a little guy right there. The difference is this one goes into, it has a connector on one end, and this one has a spot for an axle on one end. So they're very similar, they're about the same size, but that's one of the, if they're the same color, which sometimes they are in some sets, that can be tricky. So it's not a problem here, but it's something to watch out for if you're building a Technic set. Make sure you're putting the right piece in the right spot. Especially on some of the sets that are like the large supercar sets, where you're going to have both kinds of pieces that are most likely going to be the same color. It's something you have to pay attention for. Alright. Oops. There we go. Okay, and this is the back seat. Kind of a big old bench. Oops. Alright, now this can be another one of those times where we have to get multiple connectors to engage on the same beam here. There. Okay, now for the other door, let's have some more Coke. Ah. Saddest part of any bottle of Coke is when you finish it. I think he's usually out there watching. I don't know if he'll watch this one after the fact, but one of the things that MD Cordy, both him and think Steve is just on here as Steve. So sometimes I always try to use whatever names people are registered with here, as opposed to necessarily using their real name or nickname or something like that. I always try to use their name on here. Because I've been told that's the proper thing to do. But Cordy and Steve, we all used to work together, and between the two of them, I mean gallons of Coke. I'm not sure which one of them I would have even associated with being the Cokeaholic, because both of them were all about it. I personally think Coke is delicious, and I love drinking it, but for me I drink it because it's tasty. I don't have the daily chemical dependency on it that a lot of people develop, like they have for coffee or whatever. Oh, this is a big sticker. Okay. 13, yep. Alright, sticker number 1 is this big long one here. Big sticker. Big sticker. Okay. Here we go. All right. That's our dashboard. There's some dials on there and some air vents. Barrel connector on either side. Alright, looks like we're building ourselves a hood now, if I had to guess. One, two, three, 1, 2, 1, 2. Stickers abound. All right. Let's see here. 7. Actually, we're almost at the end of the stickers here, which is always my favorite part of the build. Okay, one sticker over here. sticker, 2 sticker. One sticker, 2 sticker. Okay. This guy across here. Bunch of little guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Rubicon sticker on this side, and then there's just one more sticker which I have a feeling we're about to put on the other side in the next couple of steps. Nope, gotta attach it first and then we put it on there. Okay. There it is. Yep. All right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Final sticker. No more stickers. Okay. It needs to go this way. Lock that into place. There we go. Now we have a working hood. All right. Working on the rear end of this thing again. Let's see what's next. Probably getting close to building up some tail lights or something. Oops. That goes there. Yep, that's right. Now we need to do some bendy stuff for the rear bumper. Rear bumper is in place. And as I suspected, we got some tail lights here. Huh. Oh, I grabbed a 9 when I needed an 11. Which was immediately noticeable because it would not fit over top of some of these other connectors because other things were where they needed to be. There we go. Tail lights. And oh, this will be a mount point for the rear spare tire. That's what that's going to be. Okay, these guys have to go that way. Oh, this is fun. I don't know if this is meant to be the case, but the rear seat here, because this is the cabin seats, obviously, and then this is the rear seat. It actually folds down so that you can have a bed of a truck, kind of. It's fun that that's working in the model here. Presumably that's how the actual thing is set up as well. I realize it's probably extremely obvious here, the lack of knowledge I have of this sort of vehicle at the moment. I try to be knowledgeable about this sort of thing, and I apologize for not necessarily knowing everything about this guy right now. I have a hard time getting excited about things that aren't sports cars. This is cool. We're getting some pretty cool looking railing stuff going on back here. Okay, now this might be the roof of the car. In fact, it's kind of surprising to me how many smaller pieces there are left, because a lot of the time the smaller pieces, when you get toward the end of a car set, a vehicle set, usually you have larger pieces that are the finishing off pieces, because they're the big ones that hold everything together, and they're just sort of finishing bits. And there's still a whole bunch of smaller pieces right now, which is just a little surprising, given the way these usually come together. All right, yep, rooftop. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Was I supposed to? Oh, I was supposed to put this side on yet. Well, I might have to take that one off. Might have made a mistake. This might be the highest number of mistakes I've made on if you're considering the size of the set. This might be the winner today. Mistakes per piece rating. ratio. Okay, that's the rear wheel well. Like that. Or cover, wheel cover. And I'll do one for the other side. That's using up some of these smaller pieces. Some of them. Two. Oh, no, this isn't the other one. This is something else. Maybe this is a front wheel cover. I bet once we turn the page, it's going to go right there. Yep. Right there. Okay. One. Okay, and these guys are going to be what hold the windshield, or what basically become what the windshield should be. There we go. And then one for this side. There, now we have a kind of a firm cab there. Solid. And okay, now we're using some more of the smaller bits. Give ourselves some mirrors. Side mirrors. There we go. Door's still open. Open, open. All right, cool. I didn't have to pull that piece off. I just put it on there a little early. So. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna quickly fly through the remainder of the pieces here. Front driver's side, wheel cover, wheel well, fender, I don't know. Not fender. Yeah, that is absolutely starting to look like a Jeep. And, oh, okay, I think we're going to have a roof rack up here too, possibly. which would explain why we have a bunch of these little pieces left over, because we're doing a little roof rack. Roof rack with lights. There it goes. Awesome. And just the wheels and yeah. Extra pieces. Don't need those. What's left are the wheels. Get that out of here. Okay. Oh, and it's going to be important, okay, to keep, there's going to be 2 lefts and 2 rights because of the way the tread goes. So that is a right. Here's the other right. Normally the tires aren't I suppose detailed to the point of having unidirectional tread, but in this set it is. Or maybe it's most of the cars don't usually have a directional tread on them, whereas the Jeep does. That's also entirely possible. There. And our back one, even though this one really kind of doesn't matter because it could go on either side. Looking at it here, we can see which way it's oriented in the directions, so we'll go ahead and do that just because we can. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got all of our wheels on there. So, as I was saying, this up here now can control the steering up here. You can see it changes that. And what was the word? Independently articulating suspension. So the back wheels, you can see here, have quite a bit of travel, as do the fronts. And so, depending on how the rocks are situated, this thing can get over them. We have doors on either side that open, and as I already said, in the back there's this seat which actually folds down to make it so you could use that to haul stuff around, or you put your seat up and people can sit in there. We have that, our hood, and I'm a little disappointed. Our winch here is not. There's no crank on it, so I feel like it almost made a total liar out of me when I said that we would have a crank. But I guess you just use that gear and hold it yourself manually, which seems weird. Anyway, there we go. That's it. The build's done. Like I said, quick one. Today, I don't want to make any promises, but I have a feeling, like I said earlier, next weekend we're probably going to be doing a two-parter build, like we used to do. So, just because I've got some bigger sets that I want to build, and I've been saving them to do on the stream. So, not 100% sure about that, but I'm pretty confident that's what's going to happen. So, thank you all for showing up. As always, had fun building today. And I will see you guys next week and enjoy the rest of your Sundays. Bye, everyone.